From Clarkwoods.com, this is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 199. I'm Chris, he's Steve, and we were wasting jokes, so we're just gonna get started. Tell us a joke, Steve.
I'm not gonna tell a joke.
You said we were wasting jokes. Tell us a joke.
No, but I'm not
right now.
I'm not.
Can't you do it on command?
I'm not Jackie Joke Man.
No.
Well, I have told jokes before, but I think the humor that I have usually comes from our conversation, and then maybe me injecting a humorous quip.
I got a funny story. If by funny,
odd,
awkward,
funny, or funny queer,
awkward and sad. Does awkward and sad count as funny?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I was saying.
Did you tell me this before the show?
No.
Oh wow. Okay.
No,
you saved it.
I'm gonna just
Wait,
throw
did
this
you?
right
I
at
had a
you.
question. Did you say it was episode 199?
I did.
Okay.
So number 199. I went so fast because I was afraid we were just not.
You were
wasting
afraid.
jokes.
You were afraid I was going to interrupt.
No. I was afraid that somehow there was going to be a joke that was going to come through your brilliant brain, and it was going to pass
fucking patronize me.
Pass from one ear and then out the other ear and out into this humid oasis that awaits us outside. See how I did that?
No. I heard it.
No, so I asked you just a few seconds ago, a minute and 35 seconds ago. So,
oh God, we're only a minute 35 in.
I asked you a minute or so ago if you could do it on command, and I just have to say that I have nailed one. That almost came out completely the wrong way. I have nailed one aspect of the male porn star qualifications and have completely lost the other one. Now male porn star has to be able to last for a really long time, right? That's one thing. So I happen to because of the medicine I'm on, and this happened to me before, so I'm not totally surprised by this. The last time I was on this medicine was 2013, 2014. Hold on.
No, it's just
okay.
Oversharing Chris is brought to you by
the last time I was on this medicine,
Labatt Blue, a beer from Canada.
Okay, so seriously, 2013, 2014, I went on this medicine called Make You Hard But Never Come. I don't know what it's called, but it was when I decided to go on anti-anxiety antidepressants this time around. I specifically told my doctor, I was like, I'd rather not go on this one because it had some sexual side effects for me last time. So he put me on the other one, the Prozac, which I was on for a while, and we've talked about that, and it kind of worked, and then it didn't work, and so he switched me off it, and we went back to the one that gave me the problems last time, and sure enough, same problems. And the problem is this: the problem is that I can get aroused, so that that's one of the typical problems that sexual side effects that you have to deal with, right? Is that you can't get aroused.
Talk to your doctor about it.
That's not a problem, right? Another one is that you orgasm really fast. That is not a problem. The problem that I have is that I don't orgasm at all, and my wife is very distressed by this. She is taking it personally, and it's so I cannot on command, which means even if I wasn't married, even if I was ripped, I had a 12-pack of abs, and I moved out to Hollywood to pursue my trade as a porn star, I would never get hired because I cannot do it on command. I can't even do it at all anymore.
So, okay, is it because you're like dehydrated or something?
I don't know with this weather, but no.
Like, you're not known for drinking all your water, Chris.
I do drink. So you're saying it's like Westworld down there. It's all robots. No, it's all dust bunnies.
Yeah, I mean you need
rolling across the
tumbleweeds
rolling across my urethra.
So yeah, you need more fluid to produce fluid.
Okay.
So look at I mean, have you even looked into it?
Looked into looked into what? See, looked into becoming a porn star?
No. Into what what helps you produce, like, I don't even, it doesn't necessarily mean sperms, but like cum. What helps you produce it?
I mean, I assume if it's not like
You brought this up.
I know, but what I'm saying, I have not looked into that. But what I'm saying is, it's not just that I have the I don't even get the physical sensation of the organ. I never even get there. So it's not like I get there and nothing happens.
Oh, it's not like
don't get there.
A dry heaving penis.
Yeah, there's no. There's no dry heaving penis. No. There's no dry heaving penis, but there's just penis, and there's me that gets tired, and my wife that gets tired of trying everything that she can, and
this happens to some people sometimes. Like this has happened to me before, not like often, but sometimes it's taken me a while, and sometimes it just didn't happen. It got to the point where I was just like, I'm old and tired. Are you happy? She's like, yeah, and I'm like, all right.
Yes, see, and that's what I gotta say is I never, as far as I know, and my wife is not very good at faking anything or hiding anything. As far as I know, as long as she's, and somebody's out there typing an email right now saying she's lying to me, but as far as I know, she never leaves the situation unsatisfied.
I mean, what does she eat? A Snickers bar?
But so the medicine's working in terms of I feel more balanced than I did on the other medicine. I feel more in control of things, but I am not happy with this side effect.
I don't know.
Now I've done the visualizing thing that some men I think are probably even those sports stars are prone to do, right? Where they have to really concentrate on some visual thing or whatever just to make it happen there on command. Not all of them are Ron Jeremy, who can just count down from I think he could do that. He could count down from like 10 or something like that, and then right on command. But I have tried to provide a mental image to help things along, and then that doesn't work.
What is this mental image that you're using?
That's part of the problem, right? Is I will imagine the last adult film that I've seen, or some
watched it in its entirety. Is that why it's taking too long? You're watching all the plot.
I'll try to remember some particular scene that was had a profound impact on me, and the problem is that that'll stay. I think this is where it comes into play, right? We've been having sex for a while.
Labatt Blue, remember, it's from Canada.
We've been having sex for a while, and I'm feeling she's already gotten there. I'm feeling embarrassed that it's still taking too long, so I try to imagine the thing, and then I feel embarrassed for trying to imagine the thing, and then I'm back to feeling like I'm taking too long, and I say maybe I should try imagining a thing again, and it's this vicious cycle.
Okay, so have you been Spanky McGillicuddy since you've been on the medicine?
Yes,
and it has been successful.
Yes.
All right, so
yes, and that's what's.
Can you get yourself to almost there?
So
maybe so you can finish somewhere. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck. I imagine you don't use condoms.
No.
Okay.
Not in many years. Yeah.
We do still.
Yeah. Well, good. Good for you.
Yes.
You protection. We did up through. Even through the first year or two, Labatt Blue, it's Canadian. Through the first year or so of marriage, at least, I think, because we did not want to have kids before we were done with school, and then we didn't want to have kids before we were married, and then even after that, we weren't quite ready, so we just kept at it and kept giving money to Lifestyles
Lifestyles
Trojan.
Okay, I was gonna say like those are the kind you get when like you get them for free at college.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure it was
like outside health services.
Yeah, I think I probably only had the Lifestyles the one time when my roommate had to bring the fucking ones back and drop them in the drawer on the sly. which she didn't do very well. The very first time I ever had sex.
What was it? I thought that I had gonorrhea. Like,
Steve's oversharing is brought to you by Colt 45. I don't know why.
Malt liquor? Jesus.
I don't know why. It was what came to my brain.
So like I was surprised because I had been using condoms like a lot up until that point, and that was the reason why.
Because you were afraid of
No. The reason why I thought I had gonorrhea is because I was using condoms.
Oh, wait.
Okay, let me get to it so you're going to understand. I was allergic to the spermicidal lubricant in the condoms that I was using.
Got it.
And so it would get into my little pee hole.
Yep.
And it would be all Bernie style.
Yeah.
Feel the burn.
You felt the burn before you were
way
supposed to feel
before.
the burn.
This was back in 2005.
Yeah.
And so like I would be like, "Fuck, I got STD," and like, no, I just was allergic to the lube.
You think Mrs. Sanders still feels the burn every once in a while?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do they do up in Vermont? Like they make maple syrup and ice cream.
Yeah. They're churning butter.
Yes, and butter. Everybody knows there's a huge Mennonite community in Vermont.
Isn't there? There's probably some Mennonites there in the corner. Maybe like the corner near New York.
When I went to Toronto,
lots of Mennonites there. It's the only place it's legal for a Mennonite to go into a strip club is Toronto, because everything's legal in Canada.
What?
No,
No, I was up there and I was visiting Leo when he was up there, and he was staying near the airport.
Okay.
And so
I don't think the Mennonites get on planes.
They don't, but they were sitting in a field, or not a field, but like sort of a grassy area in front of a building.
A knoll?
No, it wasn't a knoll. It was a grassy area.
Okay.
Right near the airport, and they were sitting in the little grassy area and watching airplanes take off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Were they recording their observations in any way? Were they?
Yeah, they were. They were on Twitter.
No, but back then, Steve, they would have just been tweeting what they were eating, tweeting photos of what they were eating, right?
What, the butter we churned. That's all we eat. They're never gonna hear it.
No, well,
unless they're on Rumspringa. But is that only like?
I thought Rumspringa only Amish?
I don't know.
That's a good question. If you have the answer to that question,
if you are a Mennonite or Amish and you're listening to this and you're on Rumspringa and you've decided out of all the podcasts you've stumbled upon this one in particular.
Then send us an email before your Rumspringa is over.
Yeah.
Hot at Clark.
Or if you decide to stay in the human world.
Steve.
What?
It's not the Muggle world, I think. I think is the preferred. My mentor in college.
Was it Mennonite?
No, he was not a Mennonite. But he was a nice gay Jewish gentleman. And
what does this have to do with?
Well, no, he was also an author.
Oh, okay.
He was an author. He did not tutor me in the ways of Judaism or homosexuality.
Was he the one that you thought about?
No, this is my graduate school mentor.
Oh, I thought this was back in your undergrad when you thought about some
when I thought about some dick
experimenting.
Yeah,
perhaps.
no, it was not that. But my mentor wrote in grad school. He had written a book about a guy who visits the Amish community I think it's in Pennsylvania. That he does go to Lancaster, but I could be wrong. Could be one of the other communities. And one of the kids that he goes back there years later, and one of the kids that he had watched over or lived with, he'd lived with that family, is now on Rumspringa, and it's really a really great book. My mentor's name was because he's still alive.
Hooray!
Michael Lowenthal, and the book is called, it still exists, Avoidance. And what made me really embarrassed is I I ended up with Lowenthal my very first semester of grad school. Luckily, he did not, as far as I know, he did not go back and look at any of my work from my very first collection, which I'd published before grad school. Because if he did, there's a story in there about an encounter with the Amish that is probably mostly bullshit.
Probably, but you're the one who wrote it.
I wrote it. I wrote it, and I tried to be as authentic as I could be. I think I wrote it.
Were you an authentic?
Authentic?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You're an authentic dick. It's a sloppy portmanteau.
You're a sloppy portmanteau. Authentic. I was not an authentic. No.
Okay.
I tried really hard, but I read this book where he had obviously done the research, and I was like, oh shit, I hope he never reads my unresearched thing.
Well, hopefully he doesn't listen to this and then go back to reading, what was it, those little fucking bastards?
Those little fuckholes.
Yeah. That was not the name of the book.
Those little fuckholes.
Is that on ebook?
Yeah, it is. It's all out there.
Yeah, you could like search for Chris on the internet.
Yeah, those
ClarkWoods.com is where he has all his fucking website shit.
Yeah, my website's been around since 1999.
Wow, bro. That is a really long time.
Mm-hmm. I started in January 1999.
You're like only like a year longer than Google or something like that.
You know, Sunset Strip of GeoCities.
Or you're less than Google actually. Because they started in '98, right?
Something like that. Yeah. But they were not the Google we know today, even then. We were still like, that was still the days of Yahoo and Alta Vista and all of those things that were more directories than actual search engines.
Right.
Yeah. But Google was on the rise.
When could you, like, I was trying to think back, and my first email address was,
we've talked about this.
I think it was swoodbury at bustarhymes.com or something.
Bustamail, wasn't it? Was it Busta Rhymes?
It was at Busta Rhymes, but where I would go to check my mail was Bustamail.
Bustamail.
And then I got a Hotmail account after that. But when could you, like, when could you get a free email account? Like,
well, Hotmail was free at the time.
At the same time as
Hotmail was free. See, when we got the internet at Bradford, where I did my undergrad, we got it a year after every other college campus in existence, and B, when we got it, they failed to figure out how to set up our email server. So we had internet access, but none of and we knew theoretically what our Bradford email address was going to be, but none of them worked. So we all had the email. We all had the internet, and as far as I could tell, the two things that you were supposed to have once you got the internet were an email address and a website. And so I went to Hotmail because it was not associated with Microsoft at this point. It was there. It was free. It was some minuscule amount of space. It was not what Google does, where it's as much email as you want. And I got a GeoCities account. And I got those two things that first year. Come to find out that most people did not think about having a website as being part of... A lot of people did get a GeoCities account at that point.
Did you have any ASCII art going like crazy?
Nah, never did the ASCII art, no.
Damn.
Yeah, no. I gave my first GeoCities site over to the band, to the Sigma 6 Soma... whatever we're called at a given moment.
Does it still exist? Do you have
GeoCities doesn't still exist?
No, I know, but like the archive of it.
Yes, that one was.
You should put up a special like like for our 200th episode, like put up like that, like the show notes instead of the show notes. It's that fucking website from like 1997 or something like that.
I wonder if I could recode the. I think the way that Squarespace works, where this site is hosted, where Hot is hosted, and Clark Woods and all of that, you can put in code blocks, but I don't know if you could reformat the entire page. Because I think by default it's going to put in... I don't know. I'll have to check it out.
You could do like a snag or some sort of like image grab. Like
right.
People can't really interact with it, but people could see.
I have wanted to do that on like an April Fool's or something like that. Like try to reconfigure my whole site to look like GeoCities in 1999.
Cool.
It would not look good. Not look good at all.
Well, I mean... I think what was it? Amazon did a thing like a couple April Fools ago where it was just like the old.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then see those sorts of things. I mean, they're not specifically tricks, right? But that feels more like if you're going to do anything April Fool's-y, you might as well do something like that. Whereas Google's thing, I don't know if they still do it, of announcing some fake product, and sometimes the fake products turn out to be real products down the line. But
Google Glass.
yeah.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, that part I don't. You know.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. That is somebody getting a little restless with the heat. It's Steve. It's not even summer. You told me this before the show. I had forgotten that. It's not even summer, but I am sitting here and I think I have sweat through my shorts just sitting here.
It's cool.
Doing nothing but recording a podcast.
Well, I mean, I got the window open, but we had to turn that giant fan off because it was making way too much fucking noise. We have the door open at least, so we're not like in a little hot box.
Yeah.
In here.
Yeah. No. Nobody's farting. Are you fart?
No.
Okay. Is a hot box when you fart, or is hot box when you smoke a joint?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
That's a good, or maybe just a hot box is just a hot box. A hot box is a hot box.
A hot lady's privates is what you're talking about.
Well, you know, I don't like to refer to anybody's privates as a box, but I don't like to put anybody's privates in a box either. You know, their privates are their privates.
Oh, let me just before I talk about hot box. I was watching Seven yesterday.
Seven? Oh, what's in the box, Steve?
Right. That's what reminded me. And I don't know, like it's all right. It's an all right movie. Kevin Spacey is an asshole, and he does a good job.
Yeah,
maybe because he's an asshole.
Because we now know he's
officially an asshole.
Yeah, you know.
But there was a scene where they're like driving through. Well, I think it's constantly raining in that movie.
It is,
except for like the last day.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And it is like Morgan Freeman is driving, and
it's not Miss Daisy.
Fucking pouring out. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's just like so much rain that I'm not understanding how he could see out of the windshield.
Right. Yeah.
And then it goes over to like, because it's, they did the 2-shot.
Yeah.
In the car, and then
it goes over to Edward Norton.
They go to Brad Pitt.
Oh, wrong movie.
Yeah. They go to Brad Pitt, and it's raining less. Mm-hmm. It's raining enough, but like you could see through the windshield. And I'm like, is it just raining a lot on the driver's side? Like, is the like cloud is just like kind of like hemorrhaging?
Oh yeah.
Hemorrhaging on one side of the car, but like not at all on the other.
Well, Gene Siberry said it can't rain all the time, but Shirley Manson is only happy when it rains. So I don't know.
Charlie Manson?
Yes.
Oh.
And?
Oh, the fuck! You sure like garbage?
Garbage, yeah. It's not nice to call them that.
Who?
They were a fine band. They did.
That's what they called themselves, Chris.
Oh, that is true. Shirley Manson was also fine.
Think of Shirley Manson when
next time you're
getting a little. Yeah. Just don't think about Frankie because he says to relax.
He does. That's what maybe that's what the thing in my brain is saying. Relax. Maybe my fucking doctor put Frankie Goes to Hollywood into my anti-anxiety medicine.
Perhaps he did.
And that message is just always going, relax, don't do it when you want to come to it.
All right, what do we got?
Relax, don't do it.
Well, apparently, Webstaurant store has hot box pizza things.
Okay. Urban
Dictionary. This looks like the right thing. Airtight room or vehicle. Yep, we were right about the pot smoking.
Okay. That's getting hot boxed.
A sealed car with marijuana smoke in it. Mm-hmm. When you smoke, blah, blah, blah.
No farts.
When you smoke, fucking, is it all, like, it's all the same fucking definition.
But maybe there's like a slightly different,
we were so bored, we hotboxed the Phantom behind Denny's. Smoking marijuana in a vehicle or room until it is filled with smoke. We smoked a blunt in the 500 S500. Oh, I thought it said $500, and I'm like, what the fuck sense does that make? We entered that. We smoked so much pot, we entered the money, and then smoked more.
Hey, I don't know about you, Steve, but I've never smoked that much pot. Actually, I've never smoked any pot at all.
You've never smoked pot?
I've never smoked pot. Nope.
I think we've talked about
I've been
this before.
hotboxed, I guess, technically.
Like in the car. Like
I've been in a car where a bunch of friends were passing a joint around, but that was before the last time I saw Nine Inch Nails. Later on that night, I would go on to crash my car, and then
because you would smoke so much pot.
no, because I was dead tired.
Was that on like 495?
That was on. Was it technically on 495? No, it was on 95.
Well, there's signs all over the highways in Massachusetts. It's like, take a break for safety's sake. Stay awake.
Yeah, I did not see those signs because I was not awake.
You just gotta pull over and like into the shoulder or maybe beyond the shoulder.
I didn't kill anybody. I only scraped the side of my car up
on the guardrail.
Left part of my Jersey barrier.
Oof.
Yeah, left part of my car behind. And what's that?
How fast were you going?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I do know that I was in the right lane, and then I was in the left lane.
Fucking hell, dude.
I don't know how I'm still alive after that night, Steve. I really don't know how I'm still alive after
like
that.
There's been times where I've like been falling asleep and I'm like, I'm just gonna pull over.
Yeah. Not me, apparently.
Don't do that again, Chris.
We've
got another 200 podcast episodes at least to do.
I have come close more times than I would. I just.
And then we're coming back to your sex life.
I need so let me.
Yeah.
Wow, we're oversharing.
Oh, good.
No, this one's not as bad. One of the things that I've realized, right? So I've tried to get back.
If you drink 16 Labatt Blues and drive, you will most likely get in an accident or die. Only drink Labatt Blues in your home.
I don't think I get enough sleep, generally speaking. So, like,
does your medicine help you get sleep? Or
no, not really. And so I need a lot of hours in bed to get to the amount of sleep that a normal person is probably supposed to get. And yet, one of the only times in the day that I can find to exercise is in the morning. So I've been at this war with myself the last couple of months where I'm realizing if I let myself sleep in, I feel better because I got more sleep. Mm-hmm. But I don't get any exercise. If I get up early to exercise, I feel like crap because I didn't get enough sleep. And so I'm now back to not exercising.
Why don't you just do what I do? Well, I mean, I go
out for a walk on my lunch,
okay.
but that doesn't seem to be enough for my body.
We'll do keto as well.
So believe me, Stephanie wants. She like is gradually breaking it to the children that like after our vacation we're gonna be on a diet where we don't have any sugar. And I was just.
I mean,
like,
that's a good first step. I think is to cut out sugar.
Yeah, it's not gonna go well. Considering that pretty much the only things Melody eats are all bread based, and most of what Kaylee eats is all bread based. It's not going to work. I mean, as much as she's going to want it to work, it's not going to work for these kids.
Well, you gotta be
try.
Tough parents. Be like, sorry, you get a hamburger without the bun. Mm. And a thing of lettuce and a tomato, or you get nothing and like it.
Oh my God, it's hot.
Yes,
it was not this hot over and it's not. It's he said it's not summer. It's not supposed to be hot until Wednesday, right?
Well, no, I mean, I think from what I recall, that the video of me graduating, I think it was a hot early June morning. So
yeah. It looked like evening. It looked like.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was
later in the day.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting in the stands with my family, and the English teacher, Mr. Hazard, was sitting I think one row in front of us. I think we were sitting second row.
And you were throwing shit at his head.
No, I said hello to him. Because at that point I was 2 years into college, and I really felt like because I'd had such a hard time in his class, I'd been prepared for. been prepared better for college. Of course, I was aware that my brother had nearly failed his class.
But he walked. He graduated.
He did, yeah. So that and Barry Hazard was a tough cookie, but yeah, he was there in front of us, and it was definitely getting towards evening.
All right. Like, do you think this teachers like have to go?
Have to go to graduation? I don't know. I don't have to go to any graduations for my...
you keep on missing it because of Nine Inch Nails fucking 7 hours in a line.
Yes. But I miss it for different reasons every year. That was just this year.
Yeah.
We're not
Excuses are like assholes, Chris. Everybody's got one, and they all stink.
I've got more than one.
Oh, you've got more than one asshole?
I've got more than one excuse, so I guess that means I have more than one asshole.
Oh, you do?
Where am I keeping them all? No, maybe I change them. Maybe I change them out when I sleep. Maybe I sleepwalk into the bathroom and I pick out a new asshole.
No, but like if you sleep in, I think it's probably better because I think it's better for your health in general if you sleep in
to get more sleep. I mean, I slept in today. Well, I slept as long as I could today, and I still, according to the sleep app on my watch, got like maybe 60% of the sleep I needed. Part of that is because my kids woke up a couple times last night. I had a really interesting dream. It was like a fully formed movie that I had stepped into with a twist ending. It might actually be a movie, and that I just replayed in my brain. But it was.
Did Jack Black's hand get shot off?
No, Jack Black's hand did not get shot off.
Okay, well
it did take place, I think, mostly at the Worcester Centrum.
Back when it was the Worcester Center?
Well, whatever it's called today, but it was.
I think it's the DCU Center.
It was like a first-person point of view, and it was somebody who was coming back to and seeing a bunch of people they hadn't seen in years, and they were all at this concert, and then.
What was the concert?
I don't know. I don't know. And towards the end, they meet up with this person that they were. In a relationship with way back in the day, and they have a heart-to-heart, and then the twist ending is that at some point in there, it turns around and they are that I was the person I was talking to, and everyone, and I find out that all along people were
we should do a
it was so bizarre.
We should do a sub podcast where Chris badly describes his dreams.
Nobody can describe their dreams well, Steve.
Yes, I know.
The fact that you let me go on for that long, I appreciate it because I now have a record of that dream. And I will.
Did you write it down in your dream journal?
No, I wrote it down. I said it out loud in my podcast journal right now. That's what I did. So now I have at a minute like 30 something.
We're only a minute and 30 in.
No, 33 minutes.
Oh Jesus Christ! We're only halfway.
33 minutes or so in, I'll know that's where I poorly described my dream.
Oh, you can put that in there into the show notes.
I could put it in the show notes, except it's Monday and I want to get this puppy out the door.
All right,
out the door. Speaking of puppies, I've been thinking about puppies a lot, and I managed to get followed by an Instagram account that tweets pictures of beagles. And I followed it, and then every other Instagram account that tweets pictures of beagles then followed me to try and get me to follow their pictures of beagles accounts. And I followed a couple more, and then I was like, why am I doing this? And so I got back to just the one pictures of beagles account, and it's very pleasant. To imagine.
Are they beagle puppies or like
different? No, not all puppies. Just different beagles. And it's pleasant to imagine one of those beagles sitting on my lap as I'm reading a book.
I'm such a dork. Like when I'm like walking around and I see a dog like on my like walk at lunch, I'll be like, ah.
Do you do that to the dog, or is that like an internal?
I think it's more like I think I do open my mouth, and I think I might like if I have somebody around, I might go ah. But like I think I'm
it's
like,
a puppy. Yeah, puppies are cute. I wish I wasn't allergic.
You should get allergy shots or something.
Allergy shots?
Yeah. You go to an allergist and they test what you're allergic to, and then they give you shots for those things, so you no longer. So basically, it's like
it's better than an allergy pill.
Sort of like a vaccine. Like it builds up your tolerance to that thing that you're allergic to. So
because my wife and I are both,
or at least I think that's what they do. I'm not a medicine doctor.
We're both very. Are you sure you're not an MD? You're not an MD, Dr. Steve?
No, Dr. Steve is.
But you're like Dr. Steve, like Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre, right? Remember when there were 2 Dr. Dre's? This fucked me up for the longest time.
There was not 2.
There were 2 Dr. Dre's. There was Dr. Dre, who's like, you forgot about Dre, all right? There was also
I think you're talking about Dr. Drew.
No. There was another guy who was one of the hosts of Yo MTV Raps who was named Dr. Dre, but he was not the Dr. Dre that we forgot about.
Which one came first?
I'm pretty sure the one we forgot about came first, and this other one, maybe he slipped in there when he thought we forgot all about the other Dre, so he could slip in there and be Dr. Dre. But there were 2 Dr. Dre's. Look it up. There were 2 Dr. Dre's.
I don't want to look it up.
It was almost like the Infinity War in the comics, not in the movie, where the Infinity War was about there being evil doppelgangers. It's almost like there was. I'm not saying this other Dr. Dre was evil. But he might have been. He might have been a doppelganger, at least.
Well, if he's going to rip off that guy's name, then obviously he's evil.
I wouldn't want to rip off anything from Dr. Dre. I mean, I imagine he's a pretty nice guy now. He's pretty laid back. He made a lot of money with the beats. But I would not want to rip off Dre.
You mean like
with the beats?
The vegetable?
No. I mean, he made a lot of money with his beats, and then with Dr. Dre's Beats headphones.
Oh, those things. What the fuck are you talking
Just
about?
the beats in general. We
There
got the beat.
There was the band in Doug called The Beats.
Doug, like Doug, the cartoon Doug.
Yeah, the cartoon Doug.
Oh. I try to forget about that guy.
Why?
I don't know. He seems like kind of a. I almost said a really bad word, except.
I don't remember. I don't know why, but like I was on Twitter the other day, and like Disney Channel is going to bring back Doug, and somebody I guess it's just like this meme now that Doug is evil, and I'm like,
I mean, have you ever met a good person named Doug?
Yes.
Oh.
I actually work with one now.
Oh, all right. Well, I stand corrected. Any others?
I think so. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Is this like a Berenstain Bears thing where you think you've known other decent Dougs but you really haven't?
Have you had problems with Dougs in the past?
Well, I'm not saying I have, but I'm not saying I haven't.
That's a fucking non-committal
I
answer.
have a problem with this fucking cartoon.
No,
they don't need to remake it.
Yeah,
why they gotta remake everything, Steve? Where the original ideas?
There aren't any left. Like when there could be a movie that's an original idea, or like a TV show that's an original idea.
Tag.
Everybody loves it.
Tag. Now that's an original idea.
Tag.
I think it's called Tag. It's this movie with Jeremy Renner in it. It's about
about people playing in the yard.
Kinda. It's about a decades-long game of tag, and Jeremy Renner is the one amongst these friends who has never been it.
Ooh.
And
then he finally becomes it, and then his head explodes.
He keeps finding a way. He keeps finding a way out of being it until Thanos snaps his fingers, and then all of his friends disappear, and he's sad.
Oh.
He's the only one left.
Jeez, spoilers
for the movie.
The movie Tag and Infinity War.
I don't know anything about Tag. I won't see it because there are already 2 movies. Steve, I got to tell you something.
Jesus
so
fucking
mad.
Christ, you are fucking off the wall.
I'm so mad. I'm hot. I'm like there's sweat dripping down the back of my shirt. Excuse me, Steve. Okay,
that's me.
So you know that I have a tradition. I have several traditions, but I have a
tradition. That's not One Piece. Why are you
No, I'm sweating. I needed a drink.
Oh my Fiddler on the Roof, isn't it?
You could literally wring out the back of my shirt right now. I'm sweating so much. Okay. So
how sweaty are you?
So sweaty. I got sweaty balls.
Remember that when they had the ice cream? And everybody was mad about it?
I do remember.
People need to fucking shut up.
They need to chill out. Chill.
Yes.
That was
Like
was
people,
my bad
like,
Arnold impression.
on both sides of the coin need to stop being offended.
By sweaty balls?
Yeah, like, oh, this is fucking, like, someone came out with an ice cream that has a weird name that you don't like.
You know
don't
what?
fucking say, let's ban
eat it.
Let's ban ice cream.
If you don't like sweaty balls,
I'm
don't
boycotting because they fucking did a shitty thing. You know what you should boycott? When, like, fucking kids are in fucking cages.
That
Boycott presidents.
That would be a good thing to do.
We're gonna move on from that.
Yeah. All we're saying is if you don't like sweaty balls, don't eat sweaty balls.
Yes.
I have a tradition.
Tradition?
I go to see every Marvel movie that comes out, at least for the last few years, on the Thursday night before the official release. So I go by myself. I usually see it in IMAX, the best screen I can see it in.
And that's one of the few times you can actually come.
Steve, you weren't supposed to say that.
Well.
They're going to kick me out of the theaters now.
No. Remember Paul Rubens?
Yeah, but it's one thing if it's well, so you're saying it's more acceptable if I'm sitting there and Paul Rudd takes his shirt off and I bang one out. No, so I have a tradition. I go every Thursday of opening weekend. I go and see the show. Steve, I'm not going to be able to do that this time.
Why?
Because this time, Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out on July 6th, I think is the Friday, which means July 5th is the Thursday night, and I'm going to be in motherfucking Florida at fucking Universal Studios seeing their sorry ass I watched a video of this yesterday. I'm so mad. Their sorry ass excuse for a Marvel park. The rest of it looked all right. When they got to the Marvel's Islands of Adventure, I wanted to throw something at the screen, and my daughters were like, "Stop being so snobby."
Yeah. Don't stop getting offended about fucking theme parks, Chris.
I'm offended. You know why? You know why I'm offended, Steve?
Why the fuck are you going to Florida in the first place?
Well, because all right.
In the summertime? Are you out of your mind?
When the weather gets hot.
Yes. Let's go to where it's really. Let's go to where it's even more hot.
Okay, no. So okay. So there's a bunch of things to unpack here. So I'm going to be with my family, in Florida. There are movie theaters in Florida. I know it's a very uncivilized place, but there are movie theaters there. Is this
a Universal picture?
This is not a Universal picture. It's a Disney Marvel picture, right? So anyway.
Yeah.
So I could book a ticket because tickets went on sale today. I could book a ticket for myself to go out after everyone else has gone to sleep, after we're done with Universal for that day. But the next morning we got to start driving home because we're driving. I'll get to the whole thing in a second. But so what I'm saying is it would be very inconvenient for me to keep my tradition up, and I don't know what to do, Steve. I'm very upset. I always go on Thursday night. Always.
Well, just have your kids drive.
All right. So as for why we're going to Florida, you want
in July.
In July.
I drove from North Carolina to Florida in July, and I've never sweat so much in my life.
I think I'm sweating as much now as I
bullshit.
All right. So,
I did not have to piss that entire drive down.
All right, so here's the steer. Here's
the steer.
Here's the steer. Here's the steer.
Right.
There's so many good ones. Here's the steer. We've been planning a trip to Disney for a few years. But they are.
Didn't you go back in like 2014?
2014. But a year or so after that, they announced that they were going to be doing a Toy Story Land, basically a major remodeling of their Hollywood Studios theme park, with a Toy Story Land and a Star Wars Land. Toy Story Land opens at the end of this month. Star Wars Land will not open until they're doing one in California and one in Florida. The Florida one will not open until late 2019. So we immediately were like, well, we're not going any sooner than when there's going to be a Star Wars Land because we'll just feel dumb. Like, we want to go and we can go see Star Wars Land. So we've been planning this trip, and we really wanted to also take my sister-in-law and my nephew to Universal, because they really wanted to go see the Harry Potter park, and we thought we'd combine all this together. So the Harry Potter park is at Universal Studios. It was going to be a very expensive trip, but we were going to somehow make it work. You know, my sister-in-law, bad stuff has happened in her life, and this was going to be like good stuff's been happening in our life in terms of money and whatever. And even though we're not well off, this was going to be like, this was important to us. But it turned out that she doesn't care two shits about going to Disney World. And there was another trip that we were going to take with that side of the family next year that's now no longer going to happen. And we were like, well, let's Stephanie's taking the summer off to be with the kids. And we're just like, let's just be crazy and do this. And we're like, we wanted to take them to see Washington, D.C. at some point. Like,
kids love historical monuments.
Okay. So
I remember going in 8th grade, and
I went in 7th and 8th grade.
we rode the escalator at the Smithsonian for probably an hour.
That kid is back on the escalator again.
Yeah. I'm sure there was some Banky fucking... Or was it Banky?
Yeah, yes. Banky. That was Banky. No, that was Brody.
Brody. I'm sure there was some Brody at the Smithsonian that was very mad that we were fucking constantly on the escalator.
At any rate, so we're taking a road trip down the week of the 4th of July, and we're going to stop in Philly or around Philly.
You're going to see the Liberty Bell?
That's the plan. We're gonna try to get in the Liberty Bell and maybe
get a cheesesteak.
We'll see. We'll see what we got time for, and then stop in DC.
Get some with the whiz.
And then
go to Wawa.
Do the Universal Studios for a couple of days towards the end of the week. And
get some water ice while you're down there.
Yeah. But because that's the only... She doesn't care about Disney. She just wants to go see Harry Potter. So this worked out. So we're going to do that as a sort of on the cheap trip.
So like you're driving down and they're driving down. And...
So it's the 3 adults in the car are me, Stephanie, and my sister-in-law. And then we've got the kids. And we're driving. We're driving. Why
don't you go to Great Britain and go to like the thing in London instead?
I think that'll be an eventually thing, but they really want to see.
I think it might be cheaper, and it'd be a lot cooler in Great Britain than in fucking Florida.
I understand, Steve. I was not the. The only thing I care about there in those parks is the Harry Potter, and But I've been saying, like, if I'm going to go, I want to see everything there is so that I never have to go again.
You're going to go on the Simpsons ride?
Maybe. Stephanie's not a huge Simpsons person. I would like to go. I think Simpsons is going to depend on whether or not my nephew is, and my sister-in-law are Simpsons people. I don't know if they are.
Well, I mean, like, if they were alive in the last 30 years, then there's a good chance they watched a couple episodes of The Simpsons.
Yeah. I know my kids haven't.
Really?
Yeah, Stephanie. I don't know. It's not that she's like. It's just that's not her favorite thing.
It's a gateway drug into South Park. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is or not. But I mean, she anticipates spending like 90% of the time in the Hogwarts areas, and I don't think they're that big. Maybe they're not that big, and I think they're also super crowded, is what I've heard. And I know my wife doesn't like crowds, but
do you love crowds and sweating and balls sticking to the side of your leg. I mean, it's perfect.
Me and my nephew will be the only ones with balls sticking to our legs. So.
I don't know. Like, how old is your nephew?
So maybe his balls aren't going to be hanging down low enough to.
Yeah, I mean that's an old person problem.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the only one with balls sticking to my legs. I'm the only adult male in the. Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it certainly will.
So it'll be like Turkish taffy down there.
Yes, exactly. But I've talked enough, Steve. I've talked enough. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Wow, we ate up a bunch.
Talking about
Florida.
About Florida and me being pissed off about not getting to see Ant-Man on opening night. you had something to talk about. You were going to talk about video games and why you needed to be a completionist.
So, like, there's a guy on the internet that calls himself the completionist, and there's like, so he does this thing where
is he a fake completionist girl?
What?
I don't know. So he calls himself.
Are you bringing Gamergate back?
No, I don't need to bring that back.
See,
Justin Timberlake brought sexy back. I do not need to bring.
I think that like I stand by my.
Oh boy.
My.
We're gonna get in trouble for this.
No, I stand by my idea that Gamergate was a precursor to Trump. Like, it was like the way Gamergate was handled on both sides.
Yes.
Basically, sort of welled up like a Trump base in that group.
I think that's a fair. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not saying that there was a better way of dealing with it, but I'm saying the way it was dealt with.
Right.
I think definitely helped fucking a Trump presidency.
Okay.
So
completionist
is the guy that does, like, he plays games and then tells you whether you should, like, just play it, like, or complete it, like. So I've been playing Fire Emblem Warriors, which is in Japan Fire Emblem Musou, which is a never-ending list of like, there used to be Dynasty Warriors were the original ones, and so it was just basically you're a warlord in ancient times, and you're beating people up and like by like millions of people constantly just coming at you, and you're beating them up, and it's happening a lot. And so they just keep on doing these games. There was several One Piece versions, all of which I played.
Yeah.
The first one was the only one that was kind of a departure from the rest of them, which it had like quick time actions and some other fucking things that weren't exactly, like, you actually had to explore a little bit into a map instead of just like, hey, it's this map and you have to take over this area, and then somebody might attack, so you have to defend this area, and blah blah blah.
Right.
So it's that game over and over and over again, only with different characters. This time it's characters from Fire Emblem. And so I beat the game on all 4 difficulties. So that means, like, I played all 21 levels 4 times each.
That sounds pretty complete to me, Steve.
Nope. There's also, like, a history mode.
Oh.
Which I completed and got an S rank on all of the history mode.
Well, that must be complete.
No.
There's more.
You also, like, which I did not complete, was like in Fire Emblem, there's affection between different characters. So to complete that, I would have to raise everybody's affection to an A level, which I did not do. And
every combination of,
like, every character needs to have an A ranked affection with every other character.
Oh, ooh. Okay.
Which is
how many characters?
There's a lot.
Okay.
And I don't even have the DLC content. And there's, like, a bunch of other, like, medals you can get here and there for other things, which I didn't even, like, think about.
Yeah.
And there's, like, one for like scanning amiibo, but you can only scan 5 amiibo a day, and you have to do like 100 or something.
There's
like that.
a lot of amiibo.
Well, I mean, you could do the same ones that you have,
okay,
like, over and over again, but you can only do five in a day.
It sounds like this is disappointing you that you're not able to complete this.
I could, but it'll take another long period of time, and I don't know if I want to waste any more time playing this game. Because I've played it enough.
Yeah. Is there any... You ever watch Lost, the television program Lost?
No, Chris, tell me about it.
Well, there's a character named Desmond who shows up in the second season. He becomes a more important player as time goes on. Well, Desmond, as we learn in his backstory, has read all of the works of Mr. Charles Dickens except for one, and he's saving that one to read on his deathbed, or I don't know. He's saving that one that he hasn't read for basically the end of the world, and it comes up a couple times. He's gonna. It's a plot point, a major plot point at the end of season 2. that
he's in the military. Major plot point.
No, this is so a long way of I don't need to spoil the end of last season 2 to ask you the question.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. No. The question is there a level or a game or something that you're saving for the end of the world? It's like, the world is going to end, or I know that I've got 1 week left on this earth. This is the game that I'm saving for that. Or the level, or the whatever.
Well, I'll have to buy it, but I guess because I don't have it, I'd have to I'd have to get like a repro cart because it never came out in the US. I think Mother 3 would be that one, a game that I've never played that I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I think I have it on my computer and I played it a little bit, but it's just not that's one of the things I could never play. I mean, I guess I could just get a controller for my computer, but I don't like. I've never liked playing games on my computer, which is. I mean, even if it's just on an emulator or whatever, a Super Nintendo game or in this case, Game Boy Advance game.
I have friends who say they've done it and they've got controllers, and I've tried it and I never took for me.
I imagine tons of people do that with games on Steam or whatever, but it's just it never. So yeah, I guess I should get a repro cart with the English mod of Mother 3 and play it.
For those of us who you've told me about Mother 3 before. Mother 3 is what?
Well, Earthbound, the game for the Super Nintendo, is technically Mother 2.
Okay, got it.
And they released Earthbound Beginnings, which was supposed to be Earthbound for the regular NES, but they canceled it. Like, they completely translated the game. They were going to release it, and they never did. And then they finally got around to doing it with Mother 2, and they called it Earthbound, and then and then Mother 3, if you play Super Smash Brothers, like the characters Ness and Lucas.
Oh, that's how it's come up before. Yeah,
those characters are from Earthbound or Mother 2 and 3, and they've been in people's awareness for a very long time, but Nintendo's just like, wow, no, we're not going to put it out. It's like people really want it, and like the people that fan translated it, they're like, here's our translation, Nintendo. You don't need to fucking do this part.
Right.
Like, take this and make the game. And they're like, no.
So I gather that was not one of the things that they announced at E3 this past week. What did you think about the Super Smash Brothers? Everybody's in it. That was their big announcement that I heard about from outside of the video game bubble. I don't live in the video game bubble, so I heard about that.
I mean, it's all right. Like, at a certain point, it's like, okay, this
Smash Brothers.
They brought in like 2 new characters. Well, technically, I guess 3, because you can be the Inkling boy or girl, and Ridley from Metroid.
Oh, okay. But were there ones that weren't available the last couple of?
Yeah, I mean, Solid Snake wasn't in the last one.
Okay.
Ice Climbers weren't in the last 2, I don't think.
Yeah, because that was the headline that I heard of, even not really following what was going on, was that everybody was in it.
Yeah, it's every character that's ever been in a Super Smash Brothers game is in this game.
Got it. But you're not that excited.
I mean, it comes out in December, so maybe there'll be more information like what the single player mode is going to be like, because like there was one like Super Smash Brothers Brawl, the one for the Wii, had this like crazy like single player mode, but like it got to a point where I was just like, I'm done with playing this. Like I don't want to play this single player mode anymore.
Yeah,
and so like I think they need to find some sort of balance between that and what they did with the most recent one that really didn't have much of a single player.
We're at the very end, but there was some other. Was there anything else they announced for
Mario Party?
Okay. I remember seeing that and I was like, that
Octopath Traveler. Like, it was funny because like like Reggie was like, I guess in his living room or whatever, and he was talking about Switch games. He's like, here's a game that everybody's been like wicked excited about. Well, he didn't say wicked because he's not from this area, but or whatever. And then there's Octopath Traveler again. I'm like, you fucking talked about this a million times. There was a demo fucking last year.
Yeah. I remember,
which I already pre-ordered it. I'm gonna play it. Like playing the demo. I liked it enough, and I think they're probably like tweak it a little bit, you know, to make it slightly better. I think that was what that whole demo was about. To be like, okay, what's going on with this fucking game?
I still think following, I think it was last week's episode where we talked about this before. That now. I don't think I'll have a video game system in my house anytime in the near future, but I feel like PlayStation... Yes. I feel like the PlayStation is where I would go because I feel like that...
Well, you're
as much as I love the Nintendo characters, the last few things that they've announced haven't been things that I've...
I mean, the only PlayStation exclusive that I'm in any way excited about is the new Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
And that's it. Right.
Well, but... I remember when the Star Wars... Not that the Star Wars one with what thing was anything...
You mean Loot Box? The game?
The thing I wasn't any good at, but no, when you guys had Battlefront.
The new Battlefront 2, there was a fucking hullabaloo over that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Because of loot boxes. Like, you could pay more and then unlock the fucking game.
Oh.
And people didn't want that. They didn't want they didn't want a game that you're paying full price for.
Right.
To have loot boxes, which is like any fucking mobile game, that's free to play.
Oh, right.
So if you're gonna do that, fucking make it free to play.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fucking have a game that's cost $60,
that's right. And I like playing games on my phone. I got Wheel of Fortune on my phone. But because I like Wheel of Fortune. I'm sure there's a clone out there that's like way better, but I like Wheel of Fortune. I like the property. I like the rules of the game, but it's so riddled with extra bullshit. So now I go to the games section or whatever on the
Tunes
Apple
games
on the App Store, and I have to be really careful because a lot of the stuff that they recommend is this, I guess, what you the loot box. Is that
I mean, that's what they call it, or what EA called it.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's just like in Japan, I think they call they call them gacha games.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm not interested in those.
I mean, like the Treasure Cruise is a gacha game.
Yeah, and like my favorite game, the only game that's on my we should wrap up, but the only game that's on my my home screen, well, Wheel of Fortune is now, is Alto's Odyssey, and Alto's Odyssey is a pay once, and you can get coins in the game by not purchasing them. You get coins in the game by collecting coins the way you would in like a Mario game, and eventually if you've got enough coins it's an infinite runner, you can use those to upgrade your character, but you cannot buy those coins. You pay once for the goddamn game, and then you just keep playing the game.
Which you should do. You should just get a PS2 and then just play Kingdom Hearts because you're a fucking big Disney nut.
I am a big Disney nut.
And then maybe, just maybe, when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, sometime next year or in 2020, whenever they decide to release it, because it looks really good.
Yeah.
You could play Kingdom Hearts 3, because if you like Disney and stories that don't make any fucking sense, then you'll love Kingdom Hearts.
Hey, that's pretty good endorsement to go out on. So if you disagree with Steve, if you think Kingdom Hearts makes one or two,
I think Brian played a bunch of them, so he might have thoughts, but he might just agree with me. So.
Send those thoughts to hot@clarkwoods.com. And while you're at it, while you're on your computer sending us those things, leave us a review on iTunes, 5 stars, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah,
if you will.
iTunes if you're on your computer, Apple Podcasts if you're on your fucking iPhone, like whatever app you listen to it on. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to rate it, but if there is, please do.
We want to be X-rated.
We want to be 5 rated.
We want to. Is 5? Does that mean 5 titties?
I wish I had 5 hands.